Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Monday, February 29th. It must be an election year because we have February 29th on the calendar, 2016.
Good morning, Commissioners Davis, Rodriguez, James, Repenning, and Jacinto are present. We have a quorum. Would the Bureau representatives introduce themselves, starting with Street Services?
Tim Tyson, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Chris Smith, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Eddie Chavez, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Patricia Chang, Bureau of Engineering.
April Mancho, Bureau of Sanitation.
Lori Rittenberg, City Attorney.
And Terry Schmidt, Board Assistant Executive Officer, and I have no speaker cards for public comments, nor for any other item at this time.
So no speaker cards, then we'll close general public comment. Our first item of business, the approval of the meeting minutes from the meeting of Wednesday, February 10th, 2016. Is there a second to my motion that we approve those meeting minutes by Commissioner Rodriguez? Any objection? Without objection, we'll approve those meeting minutes. First of all, supplemental agenda item number 6. The City Attorney's Office is requesting that we continue it until Friday, March 4th. Any objection to continuing it to Friday, March 4th? We'll continue supplemental agenda item number 6 to Friday, March 4th. Agenda item number 1, requested contract award, Department of Transportation, Bureau of Engineering, and Bureau of Contract Administration for Council District 13, Vermont Avenue Street Improvement Federal Project, recommending that the Board, 1, declare STL Landscape Incorporated the first low bidder to be non-responsive, and 2, declare the second low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder, and award a contract in the amount of $441,624 to Griffith Company, Carlos Rios and Linda McGlinchey. Any speaker cards on number 1? Any speakers on number 1? Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Carlos Rios with LADOT. What you have before you is a recommendation to award a construction contract to Griffith Company for the implementation and construction of 4 landscape median islands along Vermont Avenue. We are making a recommendation that the second low bidder be deemed the lowest responsible bidder. After reviewing the bids, it was determined that the first low bidder did not meet the federal requirements of the DBE goal that was identified in the contract documents. We did have a pre-bid meeting in which there was an opportunity for any bidder to come forth and ask any questions, and we did not receive any questions with regards to the DBE program. As such, the first low bidder was deemed non-responsive in that the DBE goal that he pledged was not for the base bid of the project. This project was bid out with the purposes of having a base bid of 4 median islands, and then we asked the bidders to provide additional bids for median island number 5 and median island number 6, which was at the discretion of the city to award should we have enough funding to award either the 5th and 6th island. As such, we're making a recommendation to award the project on the first 4 islands, which was the base bid, and as such, the first low bidder did not meet his DB pledge on the first 4 islands, such that we are making a recommendation to award the project to Griffith, who is the second low bidder.
First of all, okay, Commissioner Penning?
Sure. Hi, Carlos. I just want to thank you for your work on this project. I know it's been a long time coming. I think it'll be a great community improvement. It's something that our president and myself have both had a chance to work on. I know the community is really looking forward to the medians getting built, and just want to thank you.
Yes, they are. Thank you.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
And I just wanted to confirm that we're required to meet these participation numbers as a result of the federal funding that we've secured for this.
That is true. That is correct.
Thank you.
Ms. McGlinchey, anything?
Just as Carlos said, the first low bidder only listed a DBE sub for one of the alternative items. No other sub was listed. So they did not meet the goal, and they failed to submit any good faith effort documentation, which is why we're recommending that they be found non-responsive, whereas the second low bidder pledged an amount exceeding the goal.
And they're not here today, so. Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you. Then I just wanted, and Carlos wanted to affirm that there has not been a letter of protest or anything from the first bidder?
The first low bidder did protest when we informed them of our recommendation. However, when we looked at it, there wasn't much substance to it. They just felt that the decision was based on the city's interpretation that the base bid determines the DBE goal evaluation, and the interpretation is subjective and not clear in the contract documents. However, that's why we included as a transmittal the schedule of work and prices, which clearly states that the contract is being awarded based on the base bid items 1 through 23.
Great. Thank you.
Anything further? Is there a second to my motion that we adopt agenda item number 1 by Commissioner Penning? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 2. Bureau of Engineering, Council District 11, recommending the board authorize the city engineer to negotiate and acquire in fee assessor's parcel 4416-010-006, also known as 17534 Castelmar Drive, Lot 7, in connection with the sewer line relocation project right-of-way, the 33869. Brad Jensen.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Brad Jensen. I'm with the Wastewater Conveyance Engineering Division. Just to give you a little history of this project, in 1958 there was a landslide that occurred in the Pacific Palisades along Castellamar that eliminated our sewer that conveyed sewage from Castellamar down to Pacific Coast Highway. And in order to reestablish sewer service, the city rerouted an 8-inch sewer above ground through the property at 17534 Castellamar. In 2004, the city replaced that sewer pipe that was severely corroded, and it was a new pipe was constructed, a vitrified clay pipe, and put below grade. It was buried. There was no sewer easement in place to affirm the city's right to use of this private property for sewer purposes. In 2011, the new property owner requested the city either remove the sewer pipe or relocate it near the easterly property line of the subject property. This would have required a 5-foot sewer easement from both 17534 and 17528 Castellamar. However, no agreement could be reached with the adjacent property at 17528. In 2015, the property owner listed the subject property for sale and again requested the city relocate the sewer as a condition of consummating the sale of the property. The city agreed to relocate the sewer to an existing storm drain easement that's located on the western property line of this property. The agreement between the city and the property owner was made contingent to the owner granting an easement for sewer purposes. However, during the design, it became evident that this alignment was not practical or feasible. One, it was moving the sewer closer to an active landslide. We were concerned about the long-term stability of that sewer pipe. We did look at alternative routes to relocate this sewer into a public right-of-way, but we were looking at a cost of construction of anywhere from $750,000 to $1 million. Since then, the subject property is in escrow for sale, and Bureau of Engineering feels that it's in the city's best interest to leave the 8-inch sewer along the current alignment and to purchase the property. Negotiations between the city and the property owner have resulted in an agreement for $465,000 as just compensation to the property owner. And the property owner is willing to sign a purchase and sell right-of-way contract subject to the review and approval of the city attorney's office and the Board of Public Works. And as such, the Bureau of Engineering does recommend that we move forward on purchasing this property.
Would you just refer, the board report referenced Ted Jordan's recommendation regarding the potential for an inverse condemnation case.
Yes.
Since it's in the board report, I may have missed it in your presentation. Have you referenced that yet?
No.
Okay, so I didn't think I heard it, but
Yeah.
I only mention it because I just am familiar with inverse condemnation cases. It provides another justification for the fact that we're acquiring the property itself, and how that is the more economically feasible way to go and the more prudent use of the taxpayer money. Would you just spend a couple of moments on that?
Yes.
So the oral report reflects it. Go ahead.
So, it was discussed, with the city attorney that the city may have significant exposure in terms of the current property owner filing the inverse condemnation. If this is the case, the city would be subject to additional legal fees and also the actual cost of purchasing this property. So, in the on the short of it, it is going to cost the city more if this does occur and expose the city to higher legal fees and costs. And
one way I would describe it too is there reaches a point where you get to the point of no return with costs with a dispute over a parcel like this, and that's the message that I received from Ted Jordan in this board report.
Yes.
Okay. Any further questions or comments on agenda item number 2? Is there a motion on number 2 by Commissioner Cento? I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Thank you, Brad.
Okay,
Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Agenda item number 3, requested contract award, Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Contract Administration for Council District number 4, Riverside Drive near Zoo Drive, Bridge over Los Angeles River project, recommending the board declare Ortiz Enterprises Incorporated the second low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder and award a contract in the amount of $12,165,071 to Ortiz Enterprises. And I'm sorry, whoever we have here for, go ahead, sir, come on up.
Good morning, Commissioner. My name is Jin Zhao from Bureau of Engineering, Bridge Improvement Division. The item in front of you is requested to award a construction contract for Riverside Drive near Zoo Drive Bridge over a Los Angeles River. The joint report is recommending board to approve the construction contract to Ortiz. First, I declare Ortiz Enterprise a second low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder, and award Ortiz a contract for the project for the $12,165,071. Okay, this project is located near Griffith Park area, and this is a bridge project. Is funded by the Federal Highway and through Caltrans. The scope of the work will be seismic retrofit the abutment and widen the bridge to the 19 feet to the downstream side, and also we have incorporate the bikeway and the crossing to complement the Erie River backpass. Okay, on the November 18, 5 bids were received, and you can see the page 2, the 3 lowest bid has been listed. The first low bidder, Rios Construction Enterprise, has submitted a request to withdraw their bids on November 24th. You can see the transmittal number 2. They sent a letter to the board secretary, and in terms of BOE have acknowledged received the Rios claim of a clicker error in filling out their bids, and recommending the Rios are allowed to withdraw their bids, with understanding that in accordance with the state construction code, the board will not accept a bid from them in the event this project is re-advertised. On December 2nd, 2015, this board approved the administrative item to allow the Rios Construction to withdraw their bid. Okay, so after the consideration, we call the disadvantage business entity program, and we have concluding that the second low bidder, Otis, even though they pledged the DBE of 6.53%, which is less than 10% participant level, but however, they have trained all the, we call good faith report document, and the BCE have determined they met all the requirements. So in conclusion, and we're recommending board to approve and to declare the Otis Enterprise as second low bidder to be the lowest responsive and responsive bidder, and award Otis a contract for this project for the amount of $12,165,071.
Any questions at all on number 3? Commissioner Davis?
I wanted to ask, in terms of the documentation presented by the recommended contractor, Ortiz, they had initially pledged, I guess, under the requirement of 6.53, correct?
Correct.
What was the required pledge to be?
10% was required by the
And then
Caltrans.
they gave you some justification and documents as to why they could not achieve the 10%. Is that
Yes, they did.
what
They
were
have
those reasons?
submitted, we call the good faith report. It's like 2 or 3 inches binders, okay?
Gotcha.
And we have gone through all the, I think BCA office contract compliance, I think the Linda's group went through extensive review of their GFE document, actually checking there's some kind of a checklist, like 10-point checklist. Make sure they all fulfill their duties to the efforts to outreach the DBE subcontractor.
So in summary, they reached out to some other subs who did not fulfill their obligation to follow
Correct.
through. That's what happened.
Yes.
Now, let me ask, do you use BAVN in your assessment of the performance of contractors? Do you use in engineering, do you use the BAVN database?
Yes, after the contract completion, yeah, we're going to use the BAVN and the joint report from engineering and CONNECT.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything further? Thank you. Any concerns? Is there a motion on number 3? Commissioner Santos made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3, seconded by Commissioners Davis and Rodriguez. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt number 3. And Mr. Jaw, I would just mention that as a runner who trains in Griffith Park and runs across this bridge every Sunday morning or Saturday morning between August and February, it's in need of repair. So excited to see the project. I guess we'll have to pick another bridge to run over for a period of time, but it will be a welcome change to the route.
Okay.
So thank you. Any problem sending this forthwith? We'll send agenda item number 3 forthwith.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4, requested tree removal, Bureau of Street Services for Council District 14, 633 West 5th Street. Recommending the board approve the request for a fee permit to remove 3 carrotwood trees for voluntary street widening and public sidewalk reconstruction to accommodate a passenger drop-off zone. Tree replacements are required. Mr. Tyson? And Mr. Tyson, I would just mention, before you start, and I know that we, perhaps Ms. Schmidt can, and I've sent an email to our executive officer. We've had some changes in the front office due to retirements and such. But as CEQA noticed, the board report is terrific. I saw it, even though I didn't need to see it. Even though I didn't saw it, I also received an email from our friend Gideon Krakow, who watches these, just wanting to know how we missed the agenda notice of the CEQA when we had been on a string of them for some period of time, and I indicated that we had just had some personnel changes, and we would be back on top of that right away. So just an FYI.
Well, good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, City Attorney, and the Executive Officer. Before I start, I'd like to introduce Jessica Wilkinson, who is the Parsons team head person that we have. Thank you to the board and everyone for this, as they are the ones.
And by the way, the comments on the board report were that the packet was terrific. It was just the agenda item notice itself that missed that, the magic language that we had for months gotten right. But go ahead. Not any fault of yours. Go ahead.
Just wanted to compliment the fact that that's why these are looking so good as far as the review of the CEQA language. Excuse me. To get started, this is one of the ones that has been lingering, and as I think the oldest one that was in our bunch of B permit that we were waiting to get help with from the CEQA professionals. And we received this request back in January of 2015. So I'll start off with Steve Withrow, Consulting Engineers, owner of 633, on behalf of the property owner at 633 West 5th Street, applied for tree removal permits in order to construct a voluntary street widening and public sidewalk reconstruction to accommodate a passenger drop-off zone. The project is located in the front of the U.S. Bank Tower on West 5th Street between South Flower and South Grand Avenue. The applicant has applied for a Class B permit to voluntarily widen the portion of the existing roadway and applied for a revocable permit for an encroachment up to 10 feet into the public right-of-way of 5th Street to construct a new drop-off lane, 4 steel bollards approximately 5 feet 6 inches behind the face of the curb pavers and a 12-inch granite paving band. The applicant contacted the Bureau of Street Services requesting an inspection to determine the impact project may have on the existing street trees. There are 5 street trees located here, and 3 of which will be impacted. These 3 carrot woods in front of the subject location are in good condition and in fair health. The applicant has obtained most of the required approvals for the R permit from the Structural Engineer Division, Watershed Conveyance Engineer Division, Department of Cultural Affairs, LADOT, and Urban Design Studio Planning pursuant to the permit requirements. In addition, a review of the Department of Public Records or Department of Public Works permits on Navigate LA indicate no other permits were obtained or issued in the last 6 months within 1 block radius of the project site. As far as the CEQA review, cultural resources, the proposed project improvements are not expected to negatively affect potential cultural resources at the site. Cumulative impacts are not anticipated within the proposed project improvements. And categorical exemption. The proposed installation of the street widening, public sidewalk reconstruction, passenger drop-off area, tree removals, and related street and sidewalk improvements at the project site may be classified as a minor alteration to an existing public facility, public street, and sidewalk. These improvements would not increase the existing size of the public sidewalk, nor would it significantly increase the existing street width. Construction of the project would improve both pedestrian and safety by providing a vehicle turnout for the loading and unloading of the passengers. Nate Hayward, Public Works District Director, 14th Council District, was notified of these possible removals on June 20th, 2015, and as of date, we have received no objections. I would like to point out that traffic and transportation CEQA language, the proposed street widening would accommodate the installation of the passenger drop-off zone. LADOT has approved the installation of the mid-block drop-off lane. Phase 1 construction, tree removal, planter, bollard, demolition, road work, pedestrian walkway, etc. would require partial closure of the 5th Street roadway adjacent to the existing sidewalk for a limited time. 5th Street is a westbound one-way road with 5 lanes to accommodate vehicular traffic. Currently, there is permanent street signage to discourage stopping along this road. An approved traffic management plan for the project, including traffic controls and signage, will be utilized to maintain safe and continuous pedestrian flow. The tree replacement condition. Due to the intended use of the project and limited space in the public right-of-way, there is no room to replant within the project area. The Urban Forestry Division has found 2 areas where trees are needed and would like the trees to be planted. One location is the 3100 block of Olympic Boulevard and Hobart Street, and the other is the 200 block of West 22nd Street and Hill Street. There is a median triangle at this location and a center median at the other location, which could sustain all 6 trees to be replanted.
Thank you, Tim. Commissioner Repenning.
Hi, Tim. I just want to say that the tree replacement plan described here is excellent. So I very much appreciate the thinking that's gone into, okay, if we can't put them back on site, let's look for nearby other locations, and let's ask the applicant to see if they'll do it. And so I very much appreciate that that's happened here, and I just want to commend you on that.
Thank you, and we did get a notarized letter stating that they would plant the trees and follow through with the watering.
And I do want to indicate for my colleagues, we normally have photos of the trees that are, even though they're available online, or that are attached to the board report. No fault. If we have them, if they want to see them, but again, we're going through some personnel changes, so we'll get caught back up. I've seen them. Anybody have any questions? Okay. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 4, seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 4 forthwith. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 5, status of consultant contracts, our monthly update, Bureaus of Engineering and Sanitation. Pat Chang from BOE.
Good morning. Patricia Chang with Bureau of Engineering. This is to provide the status report for our personal services contract due to expire within 120 days from today. And we have identified contract number C106420 with the firm Fisher Siegel Ennis. That contract is expiring on March 23 of this year. Because they still have 3 ongoing tasks, so there is a board report for amendments to requesting to extend the contract term by 4 years is being reviewed and will be submitted to the board for approval.
Thank you. Any questions on Bureau of Engineering? I don't have any questions. Sherry from Sanitation. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners, Bureau Rep, City Attorney, Executive Officer. My name is Sherry Kuroki. I'm with the Bureau of Sanitation. We have 5 contracts expiring within the next 120 days. 2 of them will be renewed. The first one is with on-site truck washing. It expires this May 12th, and it's for mobile washing services for the Bureau's refuse collection trucks. And the Bureau intends to exercise a 3-year renewal option contained in the contract. The board did approve authority to distribute an RFP last May. The RFP did go out, proposals were received, and they were evaluated, and the BIP documents are currently under ConAd review. The second one to be renewed is with Ballard Marine Construction. It expires in June. It's for the Hyperion outfall inspections, and the Bureau intends to amend the contract to increase the contract term and the cost ceiling. The amendment is currently being drafted by the project manager, almost finalized, and an RFP is also being drafted. So the amendment will actually buy us time so that we can distribute the RFP and receive proposals and execute a contract with a selected proposer. 3 of our contracts won't be renewed. Those 3 are for marketing and processing residential single-stream commingled recyclable materials. Those are with CR&R Potential. They expire in May 12th. Our other material recovery facility contracts will be used to provide the services when these contracts expire. The board report to execute the contracts with these other MRF contractors is being finalized and should be before board very soon. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions for Sherry from the Bureau of Sanitation? Thank you for the update.
Thank you.
The oral report will be received. Madam Executive Officer, we cleared the desk?
Yes.
Then we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice week.